Do you give the best of your ability to everything that you attach your name to? Or do you do the job until it's just good enough? See, good enough is acceptable, sure. But the problem with good enough is that we really never know if it is enough until that final hour. The hour when everything is on the line. Until that moment when you come up short. When you come in second place. When you just missed your goal. When you get your test paper back in school and see you came up just short of the grade you needed to pass the class. See, it's at these moments when you will clearly be able to look back and find the pockets where you could have given more. It's at this time you will realize that good enough was not enough. It's at this moment where you will wish you would have worked just a little bit harder and longer. It's at this moment when you will be asking yourself why you went to the party instead of staying in to study. When you find out that good enough was not enough, that's when you'll be asking yourself, why did you cut corners? Why did you cheat on all those meals? Why did you sleep in when you could have woken up just a little bit earlier? See, when it comes down to it, the trophy is not given to the one with the most talent or ability. It's typically given to the one that wanted it just a little bit more, to the one that was relentless. Do you keep food on the table for your kids and make sure they have plenty of materialistic things because that's good enough, but neglect to really be there for them, to listen to them, to show up to their school events? Because if and when they end up on drugs and getting into trouble, that's when you will realize that good enough wasn't enough and that you could have given more. Just good enough could mean the difference between keeping your marriage together and letting it fall apart. Do you just provide financially for your wife and keep a roof over her head because that's, well, good enough, but you neglect to really give her love and attention? Because when things fall apart and she's with someone else, that's when you'll realize that you could have done more. Do you show up to work just barely on time and leave as soon as it's time to go because that's just good enough? Or do you go above and beyond what you are paid for so that you can do an exceptional job because your name is attached to your work? Because good enough typically doesn't get the promotion. Do you go to the gym reading a magazine on the treadmill because it's good enough and you can check it off your to-do list for the day? Or do you put your heart and soul into your workouts and give it everything you've got? Do you cheat on your diet? Do you give up on your goal to get that body that you pinned up on your vision board because things got tough and you wanted to eat that pizza with your friends? Or do you stay committed to the promise you made to yourself? So you attach your name to everything you do. And the most important things are the things that you do when no one is watching. The things that you will receive no recognition for. When you get up in the morning, do you make your bed with pride or do you leave it a mess because that's good enough? Do you leave dirty dishes piled up in the sink and your house a mess, or do you take pride in being organized? And this may sound arbitrary, but understand that everything you do, you attach your name to it. This is why in the military, the simple act of making your bed is taken so seriously, because they understand that the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. Sure, good enough may be acceptable, but just good enough could mean the difference between life and death, and not just your own life, but could mean the life of others. Because it's the little things that truly lead up to the big things. Doing the job right builds on the foundation of your character. You have the choice to either build a weak foundation or a house that is built on solid principles. But one way or another, this is your house and the one you're going to have to live in. And I can promise you this, that if you always give your absolute best and more than enough to everything you attach your name to, then you will always have enough. Because you don't want to look back realizing that good enough wasn't enough and that you could have given more.